Good morning, Delaware. This is Erin Dunn.
And I'm Shawnee with WVUD News.
In local news at this hour, we learned that an American doctor in Maryland exposed to the Ebola virus after a needle stick in Sierra Leone has been released from isolation and sent home. The doctor has been kept in isolation at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda since September 28th out of an abundance of caution. The NIH said Tuesday the AIDS worker briefly had a fever, but it was not connected to Ebola. He currently has no fever. The NIH says the doctor will remain in his home to complete a 21-day period of observation and check his temperature twice a day. Former Baltimore police officer who pled guilty to aggravated animal cruelty after being charged with beating and choking his girlfriend's puppy and texting her a photo of the dog's body is scheduled to be sentenced. Alec Eugene Taylor of Silver Spring is scheduled to be sentenced Wednesday morning in Montgomery Circuit Court. Taylor pleaded guilty in the case in late August. He faces up to 3 years in jail and a $5,000 fine. Members of the Delaware Senate are holding a special session today to confirm Governor Jack Markell's latest appointment to the state Supreme Court. Markell has nominated James T. Vaughn, Jr., the head judge of Delaware's Superior Court system, to become the next Supreme Court justice. Vaughn was picked to replace Justice Carolyn Berger, who retired September 1st after being passed over by Markell for the Chief Justice position. Vaughn has been a Superior Court for 15 years and has served as President Judge since 2004. Vaughn's father, the late James Vaughn Sr., was a former state corrections commissioner who also served more than 25 years in the state Senate.
Checking national news. A federal appeals court will consider the constitutionality of the FBI's national security letters to get information on customers from banks, phone companies, and other businesses. On Wednesday, the Ninth Circuit United States Court of Appeals will consider whether the gag order that comes with the thousands of national security letters the FBI sends annually is a constitutional violation of free speech rights. A lower court last year ruled that the gag orders, and hence the letters themselves, were unconstitutional. The FBI sends thousands of the letters annually. Recipients are barred from discussing them with anyone. The FBI argues that the letters are an important tool to combat terrorism and that the gag order is needed to maintain secrecy of its investigations. U.S. doctors are getting trained to deal with Ebola both at home and in Africa. At the University of Chicago, medical staffers are getting several hours of Ebola training, plus refresher courses and videos on how to carefully put on and take off protective gear. At a session this week, the physicians pulled on bulky white suits and helmets that made them look more like astronauts than doctors. Meanwhile, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has started training volunteer health workers heading to Africa to help fight the epidemic there. Dr. David Sugarman, an Emory University ER doctor, was among those training in Anniston, Alabama. He says going through the exercises shows just how easy it is to make a mistake. He'll soon be heading to Sierra Leone. The presentation on domestic violence given to NFL owners on Wednesday included a powerful video by a former player appealing for recognition and action. Joe Ehrman, a defensive tackle for 10 pro seasons, beseeches viewers to imagine what it would be like to see a loved one being subjected to abuse. He then urges intervention to curb such behavior. The video is part of a 40-minute presentation put together by the league with the help of a group of outside advisors. The goal is to educate everyone in the NFL about the dangers of spousal abuse, child abuse, sexual assault, and other domestic violence topics. The education program will examine workplace policy, disciplinary consideration, and increasing understanding of the prevalence in society of these issues and how it impacts the NFL.
In sports, the Philadelphia NHL preseason will continue when the Flyers play tonight in Boston at 7:30.
And checking your weather at this hour, it is currently 59 degrees, and it is predicted to be a beautiful and sunny day with a high of 72 and a low of 47. This has been WVUD News at 7 a.m.
I'm Erin.
And I'm Shawnee. Have a great day.
Thanks.